You're watching Sunday Sound Off with Frank Boal.
Welcome back to Sunday Sound Off, and our first hot topic of the night. Should the Royals leave Whit Merrifield in the leadoff spot? Sam, it's working so far.
Yes, absolutely they should. As long as he's getting on base like he is right now, absolutely. But I'll tell you this, I think lineup construction is very overrated. I think as fans and media, we spend a lot more time on it than it deserves, with one exception, and that is if you have one of the worst hitters in the American League leading off for an extended period of the time, which is how the Royals had it with Alcides Escobar. If it's not Whit Merrifield, that's fine. But the Royals, you can make an argument when Kendrys Morales is batting left-handed, but other than that, they literally cannot have a worse option in their regular nine than Alcides Escobar leading off. So as long as it's anybody else, I think the Royals are in better shape.
Blair, is he permanent? Does he look like, with Moose being out?
Yeah, I think he is permanent. I don't know if I'd have Escobar at 2. I might have him way down in the order. Yeah. Worked for the Royals in the postseason last year, of course. We love the exuberance, the energy that Whit Merrifield brings to the Royals lineup, and his versatility is terrific. I think he's hitting over 300. He had the 3-hit game today, the day after he lost his 18-game on-base streak, which was a Royals record. The one thing I want to see him do better is take a base on balls. I think he only has 2 for the season, and his on-base percentage is only like .337, something like that. So I think he's great at running up pitchers' counts. He gets the 3-2 a lot. But he doesn't. We don't see him walk. So if he walks a little bit more, it gets that on-base percentage up. I think the Royals have found their leadoff hitter for the rest of the season. Yeah,
it's funny too, Sren. He's not a young kid. He's not a kid.
Right.
He's older than basically almost anybody.
He's older than you, Frank. No, he's not that
Nobody's older than
He's 27. No, look, and I do think that Whit Merrifield's the right option right now, and I think what you want is maybe get 5 or 6 games with Alex Gordon back, and I'd like to see Alex Gordon at the top. I'll disagree with Sam a little bit. I mean, baseball kind of as a whole is everything's a little bit overrated. It's a marathon across 162 games, so any one thing you do in any individual day is not going to be that big over the course of the entire season. But I do think you want to give your best hitters a chance to swing the bats. I'm in total agreement with Sam. Alcides Escobar, it's great. They were winning. He was kind of the good luck charm. So they stuck with him, and they won a world championship. That doesn't mean you're going to win more if you keep him up there. They had to do things differently in 15 than they did 14. They're going to have to do something different in 16, and that means get your good hitters at the top. This lineup's not as good. They're not going to be able to probably add an impact bat like Ben Zobrist, and so get your best hitters at the top. I'd like to see Alex Gordon 1, Lorenzo Cain 2, Hosmer 3, Morales 4. I'm assuming Morales is going to get things going, which the back of his baseball card says he will at some point for this ball club, and give your best hitters the best chance at those frontline starting pitchers.
All right, here's our second hot topic of the evening. How do you solve a problem like Ventura? I won't break out into song, Blair, but you can if you want.
No, I'm going to wait. You need to break down into song here, Frank. I know you know the words. I know you know the lyrics.
You got it.
Hey, his previous outing, the one in Baltimore, was embarrassing, and I thought he was past those types of outbursts. I know the narrative changed a little bit from, after about a 24-hour period, and it seemed less Ventura, more Machado, but I still don't want to see that type of, blow-up from Yordano Ventura. But even more alarming to me is the inconsistency with which he's been pitching this year. In every one of his May and June starts, I think today was his 8th start in those 2 months, he's either delivered a quality start or just a disaster, 5 or 6 earned runs, and it's been one after the other, a succession of quality start, disaster, and you never know what you're going to get from Ventura. He's got I think a 4.93 ERA as a starting pitcher. He's got to be so much better than that for the Royals to be good. I said earlier that he and Duffy need to pitch well for the Royals to have a chance. You got to have much more of the Ventura we saw today if the Royals are going to be a contender this season.
Seren?
Look, toughness by a starting pitcher, or when measuring it with a starting pitcher, is not based upon how you stand in against a bull rush from a hitter you've just hit. It's standing in the game when you're not going well. Look, every time he's been into one of these little situations. You go back and look, for the most part, he's getting kind of knocked around, and it's like he just doesn't want to be there. He wants to get to the shower, so he creates an altercation and gets himself out of the game. And I think, finally the anger reached a boiling point. It was there last year when he got sent down for a little bit from the fans. But I think what was different this year was, in addition to the fans being frustrated, and I'm sure word getting back to him that there was a lot of anguish going on around Kansas City, was Danny Duffy, who we're going to talk about in a second, is pitching well. Yordano Ventura, at least for a little window, was not the golden child, all right? Danny Duffy's becoming that, and hopefully that's the wake-up call for Yordano Ventura that gets him pitching more consistently. Look, starting pitching, Trey Hillman, I remember, said it to me a long time ago. I said, hey, are you done with Kyle Davies? After the umpteenth time Kyle Davies had been lit up, he said, oh, no. Starting pitching's just too hard to find. Well, if you can keep going at it with Kyle Davies as an organization, they're going to keep going at it with Yordano Ventura, and hopefully, finally, for the umpteenth time, we can say maybe he's turned the corner.
Sam, what do you think?
I did not expect a Trey Hillman and Kyle Davies reference on
I
this
bring
show
it strong.
That was great. One of the weird things about the defense, if we can call it that we've been hearing about Yordano Ventura and that brawl in Baltimore is basically like, the reason that people are blaming him is because he's created so much havoc in the past, and it wasn't completely his fault. Manny Machado also had a part of that. That's a pretty weak defense when you break it down. The thing with Ventura is that what he did today was his best start of the season, and that's why you have to live with what he did in Baltimore. The Royals just don't have any options. They're going to start Chris Young in a couple days, at least until Chris Medlin gets off the disabled list. They just don't have any other options. Like, people can talk about trading him or sending him down to the minors, but that does not make the Royals better. He is their most talented starting pitcher. If everybody on that staff pitches to their ability, he is their best starting pitcher. They have to wear it. They have to stick with him. And they have tried everything underneath the sun behind the scenes. People talking, carrots, sticks, everything. And it's like, this is where we are. This is who he is, and they got to wear it.
All right, our final hot topic, we talked and mentioned him a little bit. Danny Duffy, tell you what, is he emerging as the team's ace, Soren?
Yeah, well, look, I think the fact that this is a legitimate topic, and believe me, it is a legitimate topic, speaks to the fact of how desperate the Kansas City Royals are for a true ace. Now, look, you don't have to have one to win a World Series. We know that. We saw that last year. They were able to win a World Series without somebody pitching really well, although Johnny Cueto came up really big for him a couple of times in that postseason. So, yeah, I like the upside. Left-handers that throw 95-plus miles per hour and now have suddenly found control and are striking out guys at a 7-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio or more. Yeah, those are the type of guys that become aces. So you'd really like to think, so. Yordano Ventura and Danny Duffy are exactly the one thing that this organization hasn't achieved under Dayton Moore, and that's develop their own starting pitching. They really need not one, but both of these guys to be the real deal.
Sam, you got 30 seconds, and Blair, you have 30 seconds after him. Go ahead.
Danny Duffy is not the best starting pitcher that the Royals wanted, but he is the best starting pitcher that the Royals have. And I think there's a lot to believe in him with, his work ethic, his care, his focus. I think he can really be this good. I thought they should have stuck with him in the rotation last year. It's easy to forget he was the best starting pitcher on a team that ended up in the World Series 2 years ago. That wasn't that long ago. I think he can be this good.
Blair?
He's the Royals are 5-1 in his starts this year. That's the best on a percentage, clearly the best on a percentage basis of any of the Royals starter. The encouraging thing about Saturday's start was, as the Royals were stretching him out, he'd get to his final inning and he'd have a good ride going, and then he'd lose it in that final inning. So encouraging to see him just finish off a good start on Saturday against the White Sox.
All right, gentlemen, we'll be back with your final thoughts right after this.